Hello, welcome to Kleshna's jewellery making channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a very valuable stitch called right angle weave. In front of me you've got an example of the work that I've done in right angle weave, or some of it. And what you'll require for right angle weave is either Wildfire, which is a fantastic product, very robust, especially when working with crystal, or you could use Fireline. Size 12 needle is my favourite, size 10 if you're using a bigger crystal, but otherwise a lovely crystal kit that we produce, which is this one, or we actually have a million different colours which we can create this kit in. So it is a 7-bar right angle weave bracelet. I've got one in some rather wild colours here. There we go, that's the white one. I've made one with silver balls in it, and not to be too greedy with my right angle weave bracelets, let's put another one on, and this is made with 3mm right crystals, so they're rather beautiful. I think you might agree. What you need to get started, quite honestly, the lovely thing about beadwork is all you need is a needle and some Wildfire thread and your crystal kit. Now, for the purpose of demonstrating this to you, I am using a dark smoke thread. I would not advocate using a dark smoke thread if you're using a light coloured bead, but it does show up a lot better for you and make it easier for you to see. Now, the best way of working out how many crystals long you want it to be on somebody is if you measure their wrist out in centimetres and then work out how many millimetres you will get in it. Average wrist, which I am, it's the only average part of me, I hasten to add, is about 16 centimetres. Slightly larger wrist is about 18, 19 centimetres, okay? And that's really a good guideline for working out how many crystals you will need. I think this one is 31 crystals long, so that might help you a little bit. And this, you're going to just thrill and delight at how simple this is. And quite honestly, I will do just a little short one for a fairy bracelet, for a fairy wrist, a little child's wrist. Pick up 4 crystals and literally leave yourself a tail end, I would say, of about 4 or 5 inches. Or if you're working in centimetres, you work it out. I'm being dreadful this morning, day before I go up to do some shows. Use your finger. Gosh, this forefinger of mine gets an awful lot of work and exercise. There we go. I go around my finger, all the way around, and then pull it back together. So you are creating a diamond shape, just like that. Okay, and then the art of working in crystal rather than just plain rock eye beads is that you have to, and actually to some extent the rock eye beads as well, you have to reinforce. It is much easier if you hold it in your hand, but I think it might show you more easily if I do it on my special beading board here. See what I'm doing? I'm just literally retracing my steps all the way around, and you know, the more you reinforce it, the longer your pieces of jewellery and the more robust they will be. There we go, let me just, and when you've got a bit further down the line you can cut off your tail, but it is quite useful for holding on to. There we go, I'm going to go across the bead at the top. Now the next thing I do, because I have got one corner of the right angle here, I just only need to pick up 3 beads, and I go through here and I'm going to reinforce it again. You know, if you're watching orthodox people doing this, they probably won't reinforce things as much as I do. I'm just sort of completely paranoid about anyone ever buying a piece of Kleshna jewellery that falls apart. So I hope you'll share that with me, because you know there's a lot to be said for making a quality item. So there we go, we've got 2 squares now. And basically you build up these squares in blocks of 3 crystals. So it's only your first one that has 4 crystals in it. Now I'm going to just build up a few of these building blocks here. I might do it as quickly as possible, and then I will show you how you get the next row in. Now incidentally, if you want to do stripes, if you want to put a rather beautiful pattern in your right angle weave, what I would advise you to do is to get yourself some axiometric paper. Now doesn't that sound grand, eh? Basically all axiometric paper is it's kind of diamonds on their end, and whilst you can do it in square graph paper, it really does help to be able to design your squares as you would in a tapestry pattern or a knitting pattern, in the way that they will truly sit. I'm just going to do one more square, and then I'm going to show you how to turn the corner, and I think then you will have the basis of how to do right angle weave. So I put 3 beads on again. I'm going all the way around. Can you see how it's making up into this lovely sort of long, and the other wonderful thing about right angle weave is it has this great capacity to kind of bend with the wrist too. You know, you won't ever have a part of it that doesn't touch the wrist or drape properly. I think drape is probably a much better word than bend, but it drapes beautifully around the wrist, as you can see. Okay, I think this is enough to show you how to build up your pattern. Now, either you can build up going that way with as thick as you want to, or let me just, I'll take the one I've got on off because it will be easier for you to see. Or you do as I've done here. I've worked a long line up this way. Can you see that? So I've worked up this line and I've turned and I've put the yellow in going down this way. And then I've turned, and that row there will be part yellow and part fire opal, and I've gone down that way. So you can work it that way, i.e. longitudinally, if I said that correctly, or latitudinally, there we go, going that way, okay? So, but either way, you have to turn at some point. Gosh, it sounds like, you know, when they first thought that the world was flat and you fell off the end of it. You won't fall off the end of it with right angle weave. Okay, so when you are wanting to turn a corner, you go back down the side bead here, you pick up 3 beads. What? Oh, hold on, that one's being badly behaved. 1. Let's go against the grain of what I normally say to do. 2, 3. You pick up 3 beads here and you literally go through the side. Can you see? I'll just put that down for you to have a look at. Okay, and that's how you turn the corner. You then go through this again. Get out of the way, you naughty little beads there. You go through this one. And it doesn't have to be as candid as this, folks. It's just for the purpose of demonstrating to you the best way of doing it, I want to hold it down like that, through here. And you then come out of this bead here. All right. And then for your next one, all you use then going forwards is 2 beads. because we need to make two sides of the right angle. So what we're doing is basically you're going around this way, and the reason you do it like that is so that you don't get too many crosses in the middle. If you don't care about the crosses in the middle, so we're going up through here on this one, can you see? Right, we're going through this one here, and that way we don't have a cross across this bit here. We're going through here again, let me just take that out a little bit. We're going down here. Let me just pick it up just to staunch that little bit there. Right, and then to do the next one, I'm going to go through here. You'll be able to see very easily once you start doing it what I mean about getting too many crosses. So I'm now going to pick up 2 more beads. See, I knew it had a hole in it somewhere. God, it's terrible as you get older. I'm sure anyone else who is slightly older, around my age, an age which one stops talking about, you'll know that your eyes are slightly less than perfect. But hey, your mind is perfect and wonderful. God, the wisdom you have, eh? Right, and there we go. Can you see what's happening? And now I'm going to go up through this one. And that way I'm not crisscrossing back over myself. And the weave will look a lot better. And now I'm going up through here. It is a stitch that once you start working with it, I don't think you will ever stop working with it. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of books written on making things with excuse me, basic right angle weave, vertical right angle weave, horizontal right angle weave, but so it's an incredibly useful stitch to learn. There we go, come through here again, and I'm going to go along here, up the side. And I will need 1, 2. So you only need 3 at the beginning of the row, 3 beads. Forgive my frog in my throat. There we go. Sorry, it's terrible, isn't it? Even I'm concentrating when I'm doing this now. And I hope that that gives you enough idea of how to do right angle weave. Do you reckon I should do another row? Or do you think you'll be fine there? So that's really all there is to right angle weave. You know, people have this way of trying to sort of have smoke and mirrors and making everything seem so difficult, but actually in essence I think it's a very simple stitch. It just takes practice, and like anything that we do, practice makes perfect. Now, when you've created your right angle weave bracelet, necklace, etc., I would suggest that you go and have a look at my video on Kleshna's crafting channel, and that shows you how to make this wonderful little beaded crystal button. And then I like to use 3mm crystals that match to make a little clasp, and there's normally between 12 and 14 3mm crystals at the other end. Now, when attaching the button, either use 2 crystals, go up through the button and down again a couple of times, and then do blanket stitch across to create a really good strong holding. And again, when attaching the loop at the other end, attach your thread down here and weave up through your crystals. It can't do any harm, as you know, especially with my rule of reinforce, reinforce, reinforce. Go up and around here and I go around my clasp about 3 or 4 times, because this is the bit and this is the bit that you're going to be using most in order to do it up and undo it. So that is right angle weave. This is how you make a bracelet, and what I'm going to do at another time is to come back and show you how to do right angle weave at a right angle to it, so you can make these wonderful pointy shapes, although you're very clever and you might well work it out for yourself.